All right. Good evening, guys. I'm here. Anybody wants to join in can join in. Everyone's welcome. We are in the 44th chapter, the book of Jasher. Title of this chapter is Joseph Sold to Potiphar. And the sons of Ishmael, who had brought Joseph from the Midianites, who had bought him from his brethren, went to Egypt with Joseph. And they came upon the borders of Egypt, and when they came near unto Egypt, they met 4 men of the sons of Midian, the son of Abraham, who had gone from the land of Egypt on their journey. And the Ishmaelites said unto them, Do you desire to purchase this slave from us? And they said, Deliver him over to us. And they delivered Joseph over to them, and they beheld him that he was very comely youth, and they purchased him for 20 shekels. And the Ishmaelites continued their journey to Egypt. And the Midianim also returned that day to Egypt. And the Midianim said to each other, Behold, we have heard that Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, seeketh a good servant, who shall stand before him to attend him, and to make him overseer over his house and all belonging to him. Now therefore come, let us sell him to him for what we may desire, if he be able to give unto us that which we shall require for him. And these Midianim went and came to the house of Potiphar, said unto him, We have heard that thou seekest a good servant to attend thee. Behold, we have a servant that will please thee, if thou canst give unto us that which we may desire, and we will sell him unto thee. And Potiphar said, Bring him before me, and I will see him. And if he please me, I will give unto you that which you may require for him. And the Midianim went and brought Joseph and placed him before Potiphar. And he saw him, and he pleased him exceedingly. And Potiphar said unto them, Tell me what you require for this youth. And they said, 400 pieces of silver we desire for him. And Potiphar said, I will give it you if you bring me the record of his sale to you, and will tell me his history, for perhaps he may be stolen. For this youth is neither a slave nor the son of a slave, but I observe in him the appearance of a goodly and handsome person. And the Midianim went and brought unto him the Ishmaelites who had sold him to them. And they told him, saying, He is a slave, and we sold him to them. And Potiphar heard the words of the Ishmaelites, and is giving the silver unto the Midianim. And the Midianim took the silver and went on their journey, and the Ishmaelites also returned home. And Potiphar took Joseph and brought him to his house that he might serve him. And Joseph found favor in the sight of Potiphar, And he placed confidence in him and made him overseer over his house, and all that belonged to him he delivered into his hand. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he became a prosperous man. And the Lord blessed the house of Potiphar for the sake of Joseph. And Potiphar left all that he had in the land of Joseph in the hand of Joseph, and Joseph was one that caused things to come in and go out, and everything was regulated by his wish in the house of Potiphar. And Joseph was 18 years old, a youth with beautiful eyes and of comely appearance, and like unto him was not in the whole land of Egypt. At that time, whilst he was in his master's house, going in and out of the house and attending his master, Zalica, his master's wife, lifted up her eyes toward Joseph, and she looked at him and beheld he was a youth, comely and well favored, and she coveted his beauty in her heart. And her soul was fixed upon Joseph, and she enticed him day after day. Zalica persuaded Joseph daily, but Joseph did not lift up his eyes to behold his master's wife. And Zalica said unto him, How goodly are thy appearance and form! Truly I have looked at all the slaves, and have not seen so beautiful a slave as thou art. And Joseph said unto her, Surely he also, he who created me in my mother's womb, created all mankind. And she said unto him, How beautiful are thine eyes, with which thou hast dazzled all the inhabitants of Egypt, men and women. And he said unto her, How beautiful they are whilst we are alive, but shouldst thou behold them in the grave, surely thou wouldst move away from them. She said unto him, How beautiful and pleasing are all thy words! Take now, I pray thee, the harp which is in the house, and play with thy hands, and let us hear thy words. And he said unto her, How beautiful and pleasing are my words when I speak the praise of my God and his glory. And she said unto him, How very beautiful is the hair of thy head! Behold the golden comb which is in the house. Take it, I pray thee, and curl the hair of thy head. And he said unto her, How long wilt thou speak these words? Cease to utter these words to me, and rise and attend to thy domestic affairs. And she said unto him, There is no one in my house, and there is nothing to attend to but to thy words and to thy wish. Yet notwithstanding all this, she could not bring Joseph unto her, neither did he place his eye upon her, but directed his eyes below to the ground. And Zalica desired Joseph in her heart, that he should lie with her. And at that time that Joseph was sitting in the house doing his work, Zalica came and sat before him, and she enticed him daily with her discourse to lie with her, or ever to look at her, but Joseph would not hearken to her. And she said unto him, If thou wilt not do according to my words, I will chastise thee with the punishment of death, and put an iron yoke upon thee. Hi, Shawnee. How are you doing, sister? Good to see you. Glad you could finally join me. Have you had a good day so far? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Doing great so far. Hi, Barry Kelly. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Glad to see you guys on here. I hope you all got notification. Welcome in, guys. Okay, I'm going to continue reading for a little bit, and then we'll stop and talk for a bit. Verse 25. Joseph said unto her, Surely God who created man looseth the fetters of prisoners, and it is he who will deliver me from thy prison and from thy judgment. When she could not prevail over him to persuade him, and her soul being still fixed upon him, her desire threw her into a grievous sickness. And all the women of Egypt came to visit her. And they said unto her, Why art thou in this declining state? Thou that lackest nothing, surely thy husband is a great and esteemed prince in the sight of the king. Shouldst thou lack anything of what thy heart desireth? As you can see, these details are not mentioned in our Bibles, but it shows you exactly what happened, and it also gives Potiphar's wife's name. Nobody knew what her name was until now. So you can see poor old Joseph went through a lot. Zaliah answered them, saying, This day it shall be made known to you whence this disorder springs in which you see me. And she commanded her maidservants to prepare food for all the women. And she made a banquet for them. And all the women ate in the house of Zaliah. And she gave them knives to peel the citrus to eat them. And she commanded that they should dress Joseph in costly garments, and that he should appear before them. And Joseph came before their eyes, and all the women looked on Joseph, and could not take their eyes from off him. And they all cut their hands with the knives that they had in their hands, and the citrus that were in their hands were filled with blood. And they knew not what they had done, but they continued to look at the beauty of Joseph, and did not turn their eyelids from him. And Zaliah saw what they had done, and she said unto them, What is this work that you have done? Behold, I gave you citrus to eat, and you have all cut your hands. And all the women saw their hands, and behold, they were full of blood. And their blood flowed down upon their garments, and they said unto her, This slave in your house has overcome us, and we could not turn our eyelids from him on account of his beauty. And she said unto them, Surely this happened to you in the moment that you looked at him, and you could not contain yourselves from him. How then can I refrain when he is constantly in my house, and I see him day after day going in and out of my house? How then can I keep from declining or even from perishing on account of this? And they said unto her, The words are true, for who can see this beautiful form in the house and refrain from him? And is he not thy slave and attend in thy house? And why dost thou not tell him that which is in thy heart, and sufferest thy soul to perish through this matter? And she said unto them, I am daily endeavoring to persuade him, and he will not consent to my wishes. And I promised him everything that is good, and yet I could meet with no return from him. I am therefore in a declining state, as you see. And Zalica became very ill on account of her desire toward Joseph, and she was desperately lovesick on account of him. And all the people of the house of Zalica and her husband knew nothing of this matter, that Zalica was ill on account of her love to Joseph. And all the people of her house asked her, saying, Why art thou ill and declining, and likest nothing? And she said unto them, I know not this thing which is daily increasing upon me. And all the women and her friends came daily to see her, and they spoke with her. And she said unto them, This can only be through the love of Joseph. And they said unto her, Entice him and seize him secretly. Perhaps he may hearken to thee and put off this death from thee. Zalica became worse from her love to Joseph, and she continued to decline till she had scarce strength to stand. And on a certain day Joseph was doing his master's work in the house, and Zalica came secretly and fell suddenly upon him. And Joseph rose up against her, and he was more powerful than she, and he brought her down to the ground. And Zalica wept on account of the desire of her heart toward him. And she supplicated him with weeping, and her tears flowed down her cheeks. She spoke unto him in a voice of supplication and in bitterness of soul, saying, Hast thou ever heard, seen, or known of so beautiful a woman as I am, or better than myself, who speak daily unto thee, fall into a decline through love for thee, and comfort and confer all this honor upon thee, and still thou wilt not hearken to my voice? And if it be through fear of thy master, lest he punish thee, as the king liveth, no harm will come to thee from thy master through this thing. Therefore pray, listen to me, and consent for the sake of the honor which I have conferred upon thee, and put off this death from me. And why should I die for thy sake? And she ceased to speak. And Joseph answered her, saying, Refrain from me, and leave this matter to my master. Behold, my master knoweth not what there is with me in the house. For all that belongeth to him he has delivered into my hand. And how shall I do these things in my master's house? For he hath also greatly honored me in his house. And he hath also made me overseer over his house. And he hath exalted me, and there is no one greater in the house than I am. My master hath refrained nothing from me, excepting thee who art his wife. How then canst thou speak these words unto me? And how can I do this great evil, and sin to God and to thy husband? Now therefore refrain from me, and speak no more such words as these. For I will not hearken to thy words. But Zelicah would not hearken to Joseph when he spoke these words unto her, but she daily enticed him to listen to her. And it was after this that the brook of Egypt was filled above all its sides, and all the inhabitants of Egypt went forth. And also the king and princes went forth with timbrels and dances, for it was a great rejoicing in Egypt, and a holiday at the time of the inundation of the sea Sihor. And they went there to rejoice all the day. And when the Egyptians went out to the river to rejoice, as was their custom, all the people of the house of Potiphar went with them. But Zelicah would not go with them, for she said, I am indisposed. And she remained alone in the house. No other person was with her in the house. And she rose up and ascended to her temple in the house, and dressed herself in princely garments. And she placed upon her head precious stones of onyx stones, inlaid with silver and gold, and beautified her face and skin with all sorts of women's purifying liquids. And she perfumed the temple and the house with cassia and frankincense. And she spread myrrh and aloes, and she afterwards sat in the entrance of the temple in the passage of the house through which Joseph passed to do his work. And behold, Joseph came from the field and entered the house to do his master's work. And he came to the place through which he had to pass. And he saw all the works of Zelicah, and he turned back. And Zelicah saw Joseph turning back from her, and she called out to him, saying, What aileth thee, Joseph? Come to thy work. And behold, I will make room for thee until thou shalt have passed to thy seat. And Joseph returned and came to the house, and passed from thence to the place of his seat. And he sat down to do his master's work as usual. And behold, Zelicah came to him and stood before him in princely garments, and the scent from her clothes was spread to a distance. And she hastened and called hold of Joseph and his garments. She said unto him, As the king liveth, if thou wilt not perform, well, it's getting difficult to read, guys. It's getting loud in here. Well, according to history, he was. I mean, he must have been for those women to cut their hands with their knives. He must have been a sight to behold. But that rain hitting the doors, it's getting too loud to read. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Well, how's everybody's day been so far? Both, actually, Barry. Wind and rain. That's why I come out here in the garage. I can read in here, but without getting wet. It was nice earlier. Yeah. Thunderstorm was supposed to be here at 3 o'clock, and it's just now getting here. But I'll continue reading tomorrow. Yeah, she did. But, it's interesting to know all the details of it, though, isn't it? Yeah, she sure did. She trapped him. That's for sure. Been a beautiful lady according to the Bible, according to the book here, Jasher. She had to been beautiful. Oh, hey, you all are welcome, Barry. I love reading anything that concerns the Bible. I love reading it. I like history, History's my thing. I think that's why I enjoy reading the Bible so much, is I love learning, and I love history, and I love reading the Bible, love studying the Bible, and I don't mind reading it to anybody. I love reading it. But you know what's so funny? I can't read a novel, but it comes to the Bible, I can read it. But to just read a book, I ain't never really had the desire to read a novel or anything like that. But I've always had the desire to read the Bible. But you all are welcome. But hope to see everybody on Colin's stream after a while. I'm a little late, but went with my brother-in-law to take my niece's car to have the oil changed in it. So Man, it's expensive to have an oil change done here. Don't know what you all pay for oil changes, but always here it's $100 just to have the oil changed. That's just for oil and filter. I'm glad I don't have to pay them prices. Whew. Man, $100 for an oil change? I'd rather change it myself. Unless I get to where I can't move. But no, I love you guys. Hope you've all had a great day and everything. But I'm gonna get off of here and let my phone charge a little bit, and I'll see you all on Colin's stream in a little while. Feels like my phone's starting to get hot. But I love you guys. May God bless you. And I will see you all on Colin's stream later. Bye for now, guys.